What is groundwater? Groundwater is the water found underground in the cracks and spaces within soil, sand, and rock. When rain hits the Earth's surface, the ground absorbs some of the water like a sponge. Around 30% of the fresh water on Earth is found underground. There are two zones of groundwater. The zone of aeration is nearer to the surface and includes both air and water within the cracks between the rocks. The zone of saturation is entirely full of water, with no air in the underground spaces. The top of the zone of saturation is called the water table. When an area is completely saturated with water, it is called an aquifer. Some people think an aquifer is like an underground lake, but it isn't. The water within an aquifer is in the spaces between the soil, sand, and rock in the ground, from tiny pores to caves. The amount of water the ground can hold depends on the porosity and permeability of the rock. Porosity is the amount of free space within the rock, or how tightly the rock is packed together. Permeability is how easy it is for water to move between the free spaces within the rock. Sandstone is an example of a rock that can hold a lot of water. Gravel, sand, and silt also make good aquifers. Around half of the world gets its drinking water from aquifers through wells. The Ogallala Aquifer in the United States extends under 7 states and holds 3 trillion gallons of fresh water. The crops on farms are also irrigated by water from aquifers. Water fills aquifers at different rates based on the permeability of the material within the aquifer. Water can move through the rock at several feet per day or just a few inches per year. Overdrafting happens when humans take water from an aquifer faster than rainwater can recharge it. If too much water is taken from an aquifer, the ground above it can sink as the soil, sand, and rock collapse into the space left behind by the water. The sinking of the land above an aquifer is called surface subsidence. Managing the water in aquifers is essential for preventing the ground from sinking and protecting people's drinking water. It can take thousands of years to fill an aquifer, so it cannot be easily replaced once it empties.